Hi! If you learn foreign language or happen to know someone who does, you might have noticed that the hardest and the trickiest part is phonetics. One might have a wide vocabulary and no problems with grammar, but still have a very heavy accent. Some people live abroad for ages and still don't lose it. The reason why is that while we understand quite clearly that there are different ways to express the same thought through words, we don't realize that different languages in fact have different sets of sounds, different amount of completely different sounds. As it is, we all use our tongues differently. There are some sounds in the English language that we lack in Russian, so it's a bitch for us to pronounce them. For example, R, like in right, wrong, red. In Russian we would say Russian. And the first sound in what, why, when, as opposed to v. Of course, th and th. This is crazy. Why did you guys wanted these two sounds to be a new language? They are quite hard for Russians. A lot of us pronounce it more like f, thank you. And I always have to remind myself to stick out my tongue, and still sometimes I miss it and sometimes this happens. But the worst one for me is hiatus. It's when several vowels are in a row, like ear, year, hour, beer, beer. I just can't get it right. I always feel very awkward when I'm trying to pronounce it. So I just try to avoid them. Did you notice how I say live abroad for ages instead of for years? Sometimes some sounds seem to be the same in two languages, but it's just a coincidence. There are a lot of very specific characteristics of each sound, and usually you still have to replace something in your mouth in order to get it right. It's quite a problem with proper names, by the way, because at first you don't know how to render a proper name in another language, and then you don't know which pronunciation should you use, because original one might sound pretentious. Мне есть подруга американская, ее зовут Кейтлин. Мы с ней познакомились на сайте Pample World, and adapted one would be slightly wrong and sometimes sound weird. Слушай, нам на пятницу надо перевести статью из Sunday Morning Post. Speaking of names, it's time to confess. My name is not really Ali. I'm sorry I was lying to you, but obviously I have a Russian name, which is Alena. It doesn't have a short form, and in English I spell it like this. And one of my friends just cut it in half and began to call me Ali. I liked it, and I thought that it would be easier for everyone if I would just give it as my name to my new foreign friends, like you. Now you know. Tell me what sounds are hard for you in foreign language, if you learn any, and what sounds do you think are hard for me? What sounds should I work on? Really hope to see you next time. Bye. Bye.